For a second straight night, demonstrators clashed with security forces as they rallied against the killing of an unarmed man by the police. Protesters hurled rocks, blocked roads, and attempted to burn neighborhood police stations. Since the riot began on Wednesday, at least 9 people have been killed and more than 60 were injured by firearms allegedly shot by the police.
This is happening because people are fed up. At some point, the pressure explodes. And if people need to die, so be it. But there has to be a solution.
The mayor of Bogota, Claudia Lopez, urged protesters to refrain from violence, but compared the police response to the worst days of Colombia's armed conflict.
The indiscriminate of firearms cannot be considered police abuse. This is a direct attack on unarmed citizens, civilians, the vast majority of them young people.
The protests were sparked by this video of 43-year-old Javier Ordóñez being pinned to the ground by 2 officers for violating coronavirus rules. The agents repeatedly tasered him as he begged, "Please no more." He died soon after. His sister-in-law says that Ordóñez was assassinated and demanded justice.
This wasn't an abuse, it was murder. 2 agents killed my brother-in-law, and it can't end in a disciplinary action. It has to be a penal one. My brother-in-law was killed by the violence and the hatred we have nurtured for years in Colombia. The last thing we wanted was that his death sparked more violence.
The government said abuse of power should not be tolerated, but insisted authorities are facing massive acts of vandalism and violence. Many Colombians say these demonstrations show people's anger goes beyond the issue of police brutality.
We need real fundamental change in this country, and the vandalism doesn't help, but is a way to call the government and the people's attention. Because this year we've seen many human rights leaders killed, the economy falling apart. We need change.
It's clear that people's frustration has reached a boiling point with the killing of Javier Ordóñez. The question now is if these protests will be the spark that will revive the kind of mass demonstrations that have rattled the country at the end of last year. Alessandro Rampietti, Jazeera, Bogota.